I mean, come on. It's the Blitz, boy. You know what it is.
Yeah, buddy.
You know what fucking time it is. It's
We're
Tuesday
doing
night.
this shit out in the cold in the great up north. I think John Madden would approve. This is football weather.
Kelvin wasting no time. How about them Cowboys? Brett also jumping on the train. What a you know what, Brett? Usually I'm kind of
Yo,
questionable about what kind
I'm
of
gonna address
interactions
this
we'll
real
have.
quick. I'm gonna address this real quick. This Diggs
Oh, I can't
Island
wait.
thing that he seems to be spouting this Diggs Island thing, right? Leading the league in picks while also being third in the league in most yards given up. That's not a fucking island. Revis Island was Revis Island because nobody threw there and nobody completed passes there. That's an island. Get off the fucking Diggs Island thing. The guy can catch a ball. He's a former wide receiver. I got to give it to him when the ball's in the air. He can make a play on it. But it ain't fucking Diggs Island, buddy. Anyway, I think you're muted or I lost audio.
We are going to talk about that
Okay.
56-14 ass whipping here shortly. Don't you
We are
worry,
going to
Brett.
talk about it. We
Okay.
are going to talk about it.
Island
And
weather.
I will take my licking. That's for sure.
Man. Um,
Washington already took one for me.
them boys were tired. That's all I'm saying. Them boys were tired from just Zeke gained 20 pounds eating all that end zone. It was tough.
I have one last point to make. I really, truly appreciate the Cowboys feeding Zeke and not Tony Pollard because I needed to avoid a big day from Terry McLaurin, who obviously Washington didn't do shit, but also Tony Pollard, who I thought might get a little healthy because Washington is susceptible to quick backs. I thought he could get healthy a little bit. So I do appreciate Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore stuffing that rock into 21's belly and not 20's.
So some menial praise from
Fantasy praise.
so not necessarily a sore loser because he's a realistic one.
Yeah.
So we need to dive into week 16.
Sure.
Andy's celebrating with the team, hopefully celebrating. I don't know how the game went, but
They won their game. I'm not sure how varsity went. I didn't stick around for the varsity game, but JV they were doing work. They got a good team, man.
Coach Andy puts up a W tonight. Congrats to Andy. Good shit. Good to hear. We miss you, buddy. Stove, he's out there in the wilderness somewhere, I'm sure, just hustling them damn fireworks.
Wrestling bears with fucking bare hands.
Hey, it's holiday season. This is peak season for this man. So
Yes, sir.
wishing you well as well, brother. So 49ers Titans 20-17, kind of a nail biter, but the Titans get away with it. 3 points. So Gary, any immediate takeaways?
Yeah, I have to say that I think that, Jimmy Garoppolo struggles aside, and obviously he's got the broken thumb, I believe it is, that's gonna keep him out of games until he can figure out how to manage that, if at all he does. We'll see Trey Lance this weekend, but I think what we saw from the Titans has to be reassuring if you're a Titans fan or you're part of that organization, because they won a game that they were down early. Tannehill didn't look good in the first half. A.J. Brown obviously looked rusty in the first half, but he took over the second half. And if that dude is healthy and they get anything from Julio Jones, that takes a lot of pressure off of Derrick Henry, who they do believe will be back for the playoffs. So careful in the AFC. If you're thinking it's the Chiefs and Bills, the Titans might have a little say about this, and obviously New England's still kind of hanging around, but I think Buffalo this weekend asserted themselves as the favorites in the AFC East and probably everybody's second favorite in the AFC to go to Kansas City and give them problems. But Tennessee, man, do not sleep on them, because if King Henry comes back, and that's the big caveat, if he comes back and they get anywhere near what he is and what he brings to that team is once again really dangerous, because that defense is playing really good football, which we didn't expect from them coming into this season.
When in talking about Kansas City, you're talking about already a strange relationship between Tennessee and Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about just they've got the shock factor that no other team in the NFL has. The Titans are the ones that can absolutely bring an L to Arrowhead. And so, and I'll even say this, with or without Henry, because Casey's
that's
still
a bold statement, because I think they have to run the ball. But I'm gonna give you the floor. I just think that's a bold statement.
For sure. I'm just talking about purely, it's almost like the rivalry effect, right? Like, it doesn't matter if one team is better than another. There's something about that that interdivision rivalry when, fucking Washington has a good season, goes 9-2, comes up against the Cowboys and gets their fucking ass whipped, and Cowboys are, 3-6.
Yep.
So that kind of thing.
I talked to a guy before the Dallas-Washington game about that, because he was gambling, asked if Washington had a chance. And I said, in this game, you can't count either team out, right? It's a rivalry game. It is what it is. Washington got their dicks beat in. We'll talk about that later. But, like, going into the game, like, you have to think it's a rivalry game. And as you said, right, that bad blood makes things different in these games.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, I'm curious to see that matchup. But let's go to Browns-Packers. They played Saturday, Christmas Day games. Browns-Packers, and that was another fucking nail-biter. I mean, just starting the weekend off right. And, Cardinals, we'll get to them in a second. But Packers-Browns. So, slow game for the Packers defense, or great game for Baker Mayfield?
Baker had some costly turnovers, so I'm gonna say that the Packers defense is not where we thought they were 2 weeks ago, right? Okay. I think Jair Alexander really makes a difference for them, and I say that because they talked today that he may be coming off IR. If that dude's healthy, I think they get back to playing great football. But they did it against the Ravens with the 57th string quarterback leading the way for the Ravens, and let them back in the game, and they went for 2 and had a chance, late, and they just seem to let teams back into games right now on defense, and they got to stop doing that. They got to figure out if it's taking the foot off the pedal on offense in addition to that defense not having the horses that they've had, or what. But they need to get it figured out, or they're gonna be out pretty early in the playoffs. And Aaron, no, I'm not in the attic.
No, dude, he is Clark Griswolding right
I'm
now.
I'm out in the elements, buddy. We're out here.
I mean, I'm out on the back porch. It's the quietest place.
We have like 4 kids, 3 huge dogs, and another small yipping dog, and everybody in the house. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to go on the back porch, see what kind of Wi-Fi I can get out here. Seems to be working.
Gary Free Sr., awesome to see the show. Awesome to see you, Gary Free Sr. Sure. Junior doesn't always cut it, is what I'm saying. So it's good to have you on the show. Good to have you with us.
The OG is always the best.
The OG. So I'm going to say something while I got you guys here, and this might ruffle a few feathers. Baker Mayfield is the white Jameis Winston. So he's an unnecessary risk taker, and it's not just the deep ball. It's just in general, he makes poor choices. And sometimes they're lucky draws that end up in great pass plays or great rushes or whatever, great play reads, but he just is never going to be. I don't know. I'm completely off the Mayfield wagon at this point.
No, you should be, and I think the Browns are. I think we're going to see Cleveland in the quarterback market this offseason. We'll talk a little bit about that in Cabin Facts later. But you should be out on Baker Mayfield at this point. And I don't know that he's as bad a decision maker as Jameis Winston, but I think that's a fair comparison, right? I think that is a fair comparison.
You know what else is a fair comparison is Matthew Mutterman calling you brave. And not just after Sunday night, but in general, that's offensive.
Yeah, it's I'm waiting for them to get a team name, and I'm going to buy a new beanie, a new lot of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and since we have some anniversary followers here, just real quick to address a couple of these bad boys. Gary Free Sr., Aaron, celebrating number 2. Mutterman celebrating 3. Trying to make sure I'm getting them right. Kelvin celebrating 1. Come on, Brett, you ain't even got a badge yet. But we win here, Gary and myself, as today is year 4 4-year anniversary of Backyard Blitz, Backyard Sports Media. Fuck yeah, dude. So thanks to everybody for watching. This has been, what a great way to end the year, right? Is to celebrate the 4th year. I haven't been on in a few weeks either, so feels good to be back. And dude, we've got a lot of shit to talk about, and there's so much to talk about even before we get to my favorite part that I think Mutterman will enjoy, and that's just dragging our fucking nuts all over the Washington football team. Let's talk, are the Cardinals imploding?
Can you hear the crazy dogs in the background real quick?
Barely. It's not bad. So
yeah, my brother's watching, letting the dogs do that.
Hey, Brett, just make sure you take him outside to bark. Once we start talking Cowboys, once he starts talking about how the Cowboys get favorable calls,
I'm outside.
Right, that's the point. We got to shut you the fuck
up.
I
thought you said bring him outside. Sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah. Now, Brett, when I give you the signal, signal being, how about them boys? Or basically that signal being, as soon as Gary starts talking about how Dallas gets favorable calls, let the dogs out.
You won't hear it once.
Let the dogs out.
You won't hear it once, I promise you. 56-14. There were plenty, but 56-14, I want to talk about how bad Washington is more than
fair enough. So Cardinals, are they imploding, yes or no?
Yes, they're done. Cliff is probably I think Cliff's gonna get fired after this year. The way this season's ending and the manner in which it's ending, he's been awful in game. It's like Andy Reid at times has taken
3
over.
Weeks ago, I would have called you crazy.
Right. I would have never even thought this 3 weeks ago. No chance. But dude, they've full on imploded. The way they looked against Indy, they can't stop the run. They can't do anything on offense. They can't situational football. They're fucking terrible. That's a coaching staff that I think is at risk right now. And that's crazy to say for a team that's fucking 10-5, man. Like, but they were 10-1. They were 9-0 at one point. They were the last undefeated team. This is not ending well. And unless they can flip a switch and finish this season strong with these last 2 games and look good going into the playoffs, win or lose in the playoffs, I think Cliff Kingsbury might be on the hot seat. And Steve Keim, that GM, might be on the hot seat.
You know what, man? The one thing we've learned is that division is the division to be in. And so... And they kind of set that fucking precedent, because before the Rams got their once the Rams fell after their Super Bowl appearance, like, the Cards were the next one to kind of step up. There were some brief moments with San Fran, but like, this is gonna purely come down to the fucking Rams, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's dude. Matt Stafford,
I think we've been waiting for the Rams to become this team that they're becoming, and they can survive some mediocre games from Stafford, which they've done the last couple of weeks. But Arizona, they have face planted. They're not even on the way down anymore. They are officially in the dirt.
Might as well rock bottom it.
Yeah, buddy.
So speaking of rock bottom, Lions lose to the Falcons 16-20. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to not talk about this game. I'm going to go back to the last game and just make one quick point. What Indianapolis was able to do with 3 starting offensive linemen out. One of them is a perennial All-Pro in Quentin Nelson, probably the best guard in football. There's maybe a couple other guys that can make a claim, but Quentin Nelson is that dude. And for them to still be able to assert their will, Jonathan Taylor with I think he had 150 yards or something, against a 10-4 team, whether it's the Cardinals or not, that was Herculean from the Colts. To really, guys, come on, Jesus fucking Christ, these goddamn dogs are outside. Anyway,
Brett, I didn't give the signal. I did not give the signal, Brett.
Effort for sure. Can you let them in the house,
Brett? I did not give the signal. The signal is this is just a drill. The signal is, how about them boys?
Here we go.
Okay, that was a drill.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me mute myself.
Okay. So I'm going to continue, and maybe we can skip a little bit of this ramble. All right. Moving on to the next game. And just for the record, Jonathan Taylor had 27 carries for 108 yards. So Still a solid game, though. Still a solid game. All right. Moving on. We are at.
On that.
Yeah, you're fine. You were already going to start to ramble over a game we've covered. Rams Vikings, 30-23. So Stafford, Cooper Kupp having a fucking, have yourself a career year, dude.
Yo, he's about to win the Triple Crown, man, and that's only been done, I think, 2 other times in NFL history, man. He's doing things that haven't been done since like Don Hudson, bro. And Don Hudson had receiving records for over 50 years until Jerry Rice and some of those guys, Steve Largent, those Hall of Famers came along. Like, this dude is doing things we haven't seen in NFL history. It's crazy what he's doing. He's uncoverable. The chemistry that he and Stafford have, it's unbelievable. His post-game interviews where he's breaking down the blitzes he's seeing, like he sounds like a cerebral quarterback. And the dude runs like a 3.7 shuttle run. Like, you can't cover a guy that cerebral and can fucking dodge you in a telephone booth. It's unbelievable. And he's gonna finish with the Triple Crown. I fully believe he will. That's unbelievable,
for
man.
sure.
Another
and
shout
congrats.
out to fantasy. Led me to the fantasy finals. Thank you very much, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp and Brett revealing that it was your wife that betrayed you.
It was too. She yeah. And then she just says, "Sorry."
See, she's been putting up with this shit for 4 years, so she kind of just gets to do whatever the fuck she wants, and that's perfectly okay.
And she's been putting up with me for more than 12 years, so.
Facts, dude.
She's
so
at a baker's dozen now. So
this Saturday will be 12 years for me and my wife.
Yeah,
12.
Oh, we're at fucking 14, bro. Jesus, she's been putting up with me for a long time.
I keep forgetting that you're fucking old.
Yeah, old as fuck.
Old as fuck.
She's been putting up with me forever.
Put you down, bud.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart is right. What was that shit you said the first time? It was so wrong. It was off. Bless your soul or something. I don't know. Bless your life or some shit like that. It was terrible. It was just, you could not have looked like more of a Yank. All right. So Rams Vikings. Talk that shit. Rams
really
Vikings.
She's not good at math. Anyway.
Don't be such a misogynist, dude. You know? Like, why you gotta cut her down?
It's fine. It's fine. We're almost at 16 knowing each other, so.
The Blitz is about to become a fucking therapy session. You better chill out.
We're about to do couples therapy live.
Yeah. Next question. Who hurt you? You know? So,
how does that make you feel?
Yeah. All right. So look, Kirk, the Cup Cousins, not getting it done. The Rams looking good. Cooper Kupp. Come on. What's there left to say about the guy? And then the Stafford stud. Come on.
Yeah,
I like it when he shows
in the
up
down
to the
game.
field.
He looks so good.
Right. I like it when Stafford the stud, and Stafford the stud isn't always shiny. He's not, he's not 90% completions.
Right.
He's not even a 90 QBR sometimes, but he's fucking efficient with his time.
For sure. And he and Beckham have figured it out. They've figured out how to get Beckham involved, and that's pretty dangerous on that side of the ball. But man, that defense looks Aaron Donald leading the fucking charge. That defense is clicking on almost all.
So scary, bro.
He scares me from my couch.
Right. As he should.
Yeah.
So NFC North kind of locked down, I think we could say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So Rams, however, locking their division down.
Yeah. Yep.
So NFC's looking pretty set in stone. Jaguars, Jets, the suck fest, because one game ended in 26. When's the last time you saw 26 on the scoreboard? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that,
what
that.
the fuck?
Yeah, there ain't a lot to talk about with this game. Both teams are looking forward to the draft next year. I think the Jets have more to look forward to. They've got a good coach. If they can figure out if Zach Wilson is actually the guy, they've got some weapons. Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. They got to get it. They got to get the offensive line figured out, and they've got to put one more wide receiver on the outside. They don't have Corey Davis is not the answer opposite Elijah Moore, but the Jags are a mess.
Yeah.
That whole Herb experience was fucking so bad.
I'm looking over these numbers, trying to understand how the Jags got to 21, because Trevor Lawrence had 280 yards, 0 touchdowns. Dare had a tutty, and the rest was just like kicks for days.
Yeah. Ugly game between two teams. It got weird. And
this is the type of shit we just put out to London because it's second rate, you know? So send that
we're
shit
still playing in
overseas.
London. It should be there.
Right. Like, that's exactly what game should be there.
Yep.
Because just as bland as your fucking food. So Giants Eagles 34-10. No real surprise here. Jalen Hurts on the rise.
No. The Giants are just that bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Real quick, Aaron. We're going to talk about Jags coaching search here in a little bit during Cap Facts. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they're going to exhaust all options this time. Brett, we'll talk about Darnold once we get to the Panthers game. But yeah, Philly Giants. I think
that's a hint that we probably need to move along a little faster. Probably. My bad.
Brett loves to talk about Cam Newton. He's weird.
Hey man,
he has this weird infatuation with Cam Newton.
I like that he went to JUCO and went to Blinn. You know, I like that story.
Yeah, stole a laptop and got paid in college. But anyway.
Yeah, and then he had to earn his way back to the position, which he rightfully did, and fucking took his medicine. So
he went to a different college.
All right. Hey, look, dude, if you want to put your MAGA hat on, then that's fine. The motherfucker learned his lesson.
He did learn his fucking lesson. He took $100,000 to go to Auburn and play. Anyway, off the Cam Newton for now. But Philly is who they are. Like, it is who we think they are. They can run the ball. The Giants are terrible. Philly didn't look really good against the Giants early in that game, and then a few things, turnover here, and the Giants are just really bad.
Yeah. They'll never be the same without Jason Garrett. That's just a fact. It's a process, son. Process. Okay. You got to do the side hand like that. I mean, you got to really get in there. It's an art.
You got to dig in deep in the palm.
I've studied a lot of film to get that clap down. All right. So Bills Pats. I think me and Andy kind of called this that Patriots would lose to the Bills.
No, Andy said if the Patriots beat Buffalo in Buffalo, they were going to win this one too. I remember talking to him about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I had it backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, he had Buffalo winning in Buffalo, New England winning in New England.
Yeah.
Well, you got it right. I got it right last week. I picked
I mean,
Buffalo
it was a safe bet that they're going to fucking that they could beat them in Gillette.
You weren't going to see 80-mile-an-hour wind either.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, no surprise there. Bills still a huge fucking threat in the AFC.
The one big thing, other than the Bills looking like who we thought they were going to be now, you know, they're starting to really put it together, and it's the right time of year to peak. Mac Jones has had 2 bad games in a row. And I know that Bill's not going to go away from him, but I wonder how much Bill is going to start pulling the reins back, because they were really opening up the offense for Mac there for a while, and he was making good on that investment. But right now, with 2 consecutive games where he's looked bad, a couple of turnovers, and not really looking like he's in control of the offense and seeing things out there that he was seeing earlier in the year. I wonder how much they're going to start to kind of pull back on the reins and start to go more vanilla on offense. I'm curious if we see that from them.
Okay, so that you kind of answered my question, but yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You understanding the play calling a little better than I do. Did you feel like they maybe were taking risks or trying newer things out that maybe were, he's not familiar with that route applying to the defensive scheme he's walking out to as he gets under center? That's what it seemed like to me, is that he just seemed uncomfortable. And so
yeah, Andy and I have talked a lot about this too. There's film, right? When teams get film, they start to kind of figure out tendencies, and then the good and great quarterbacks adjust, right? We'll see what Mac does in terms of adjustments. We'll see what Bill and Josh do in terms of adjustments from above Mac's head. But, I think up to this point, until these last 2 weeks, they were justified in what they were doing with the offense, opening things up, letting him read the defense and make calls at the line of scrimmage and, take more risks downfield because they were making good on them. Now, I wonder if they're going to try to dial it back a bit and say, okay, we've got a chance to make some noise in the playoffs this year. Let's take it back a notch. Let's go back to some more vanilla stuff with Mac, play good defense, run the ball, get the short stuff. Then in the offseason, we'll get back to what we were doing midseason. We've got reps, under center, those sorts of things. I'm curious if that's what we're going to see from them.
I don't feel like it would even be that, man. I feel like where they're at in their division right now, they could still comfortably fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to be like almost a season-ending adjustment or vanilla on the way out. I think it could just simply be minor adjustments. Maybe they're just overextending.
You could be right. It could be just dialing back certain things too.
Because the thing is we've already seen that they can win with their formula. They just modified and it didn't work. You know what I mean? And they got some bad batches.
Yeah, it could just be small. A little twist here and a little.
I've just learned to never underestimate Bill Belichick under any circumstances. Like this year, this year of all years really should solidify you, or even myself, the novice football fan, that Bill Belichick is to not be fucked with. Like it was not just Tom Brady. Tom Brady proved that he's Tom Brady because he's the greatest of all time. Like Bill Belly is teaching everybody right now that like it wasn't just Tom.
Right. So, never underestimate Bill.
Mud, thank you, sir. Let's see. Had to step out for a sec. Who are taking the wild card spots? We definitely need to get to that. So let's finish out the week and then let's go over wild card spots for sure. Brett says, please take Kellen. Shut the fuck up. Like I don't know what to. Don't do that.
He doesn't like Kellen, and I'm with him in a lot of ways. I can never listen to your opinion about a fucking Cowboys. Like I understand that. But I'm not alone in thinking that Kellen Moore is a bit overrated.
Oh, for sure. I think he's overrated, but I'm saying that like he's still growing he's trending in the right direction. So like that's worth the continued investment is all I'm saying.
Okay. I can buy that.
I'm not saying that he's the fucking guy that's going to lead us to a Super Bowl this year because, again, I'm confident the Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl this year. And that's fine. That's completely okay. I want to win a playoff game. That's it. That's all I want to do. And I'm as a Cowboys fan, I'm good with that fucking season. So, and then we need to sweeten the deal for Kellen Moore if needed because I think that he's going to at least show and help the team trend in the right direction. Because I don't think
grow into what people think he is.
Right, but he hasn't given us many reasons to doubt it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Ravens-Bengals, 41-21.
Woohoo!
Fucking Tiger King, son.
Hanging brain on the Ravens, man. And then after the game, the question if he heard the talk from Wink Martindale and the little coy smile, like, I might have heard him. I might have heard him, and that's something that he chose to say. And then the question of, were you thinking about that out there when you hung 525? Maybe. I love that shit from Joe, man. Don't back down from it. Embrace that shit. Hang brain on them motherfuckers. Throw for 525. Tiger King to the moon, baby.
The thing that the thing that impresses me most about Tiger King, and it's kind of the same type of moxie that you see in like this year's Aaron Rodgers, right? Where he's just gonna be himself, whether you fucking like him or not. But he's not gonna back down from any conversation. Apparently, not one, including COVID toe. But Tiger King has shown on the field and off the field that he's perfectly capable of leading this team to be successful.
Oh yeah.
And
They're
he
in
is
good hands in Cincinnati, man.
they really are. And if you're not bought in on the Tiger King, you're fucking wrong and you need to correct yourself.
You're missing out on Amazon in 1998 if you're not buying into Tiger King right now.
Oh, for sure. That's stock you're buying in. Mac Jones, you buy Tiger King stock before you buy Mac Jones stock. That's facts. I don't really want to. I don't have anything else to add there. We can move on to another kind of surprising game here. 41-29. The Texans beat the Chargers. Mud, I expect you to fucking speak up here, bud.
Buddy.
Mud, talk to me, Mud.
I
don't know if you're still a Chargers fan now. They're not in San Diego, but
I think he's still rocking the bolt. This was the surprise of the weekend for me, to be honest. The Bengals hanging fucking 7,000 yards on the Ravens is a surprise, but the Ravens are somewhat depleted on both sides of the ball, COVID, injuries, etc. But the Texans beating the fucking Chargers, and Mud said it right. That defense, they couldn't stop Davis Mills. Davis Mills. Is there a more fucking white bread name for a fucking non-football player out there? Like, golly. Davis Mills. The only significant thing about Davis Mills is the length of his fucking neck. Like, get real. Jesus Christ, that defense is bad. And their head coach, just like the fucking Vikings, their head coach is a defensive wunderkind. He's like 34 years old and supposedly the best defensive mind in football. Not happening in LA. Ooh, that's a bad loss.
Well, and I feel like Mud kind of described the point there is that
absolutely
like it's not a Justin Herbert problem.
Nope, it's not.
And there needs to be some fucking adjustments made, whether it be at the player level or the coach level. Because I was bought in pretty heavy on Justin Herbert early in the season. I feel like I was buying back into him over the last couple weeks, and then this week happened, and I don't even know what the fuck to do. But it's not a Herbert problem. It's, definitely on the other side of the field.
I'll say this real quick in parting. I think it's a scheme thing, and it's similar to what we saw from Buffalo when they got beat up by a couple of rushing teams when, they got a few hundred yards hung on them in back-to-back games. They geared up. I think everybody in the AFC, especially in the AFC West, geared up for Mahomes and the Chiefs and forgot about the fact that, like, there's 3 or 4 teams in the AFC that are really, really good running the football, and you can't stop the run in that cover 2 shell. Excuse me, that cover 2 shell that you have to run against the Chiefs with their bells and whistles and millions of playmakers running down the field. So I think it's a scheme thing, and that's why I lay it solely on the shoulder, very heavily on the shoulders of Brandon Staley as opposed to the players, because I think it's a scheme thing more than a personnel thing. And him failing to adjust, I guess, is my point, is that not adjusting to teams outside of Kansas City.
Shout out to Herbert breaking Rivers' franchise TD record in 3 seasons.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's another kid, the real deal. You know who's not the real deal? Trevor Lawrence. And that's tough. But let's get into someone else who we also may have overinvested in a little bit, and that's Sam Darnold. The Bucs do exactly what the Bucs were going to do to the Panthers, regardless of who the fuck was going to be at the helm of that team.
Yeah.
Like, right? The Bucs were going to impose their will. Everybody knows that.
Coming off that loss, you knew Brady was going to do his thing. My only surprise of this game is that they didn't score 50. Honestly, like, that's the only thing about this game that surprised me. The Panthers offense has imploded. They fired Joe Brady. It was a terrible move. They don't have a quarterback. Darnold looked pretty good early in the season, but I think what we're seeing now over the last 10 weeks from this team is that they really, really, really feasted on bad competition early in the season. They were, I think, 4-1 at one point, but they hadn't played anybody good, and it's really showing with this team that's now. I think they're like fucking 4-13 now, or 4-11.
So how much longer do you think before we have a change at the head coach position?
I don't want to see them fire Matt Rule, but I think it's coming because that owner came in and said he wants a winner.
I don't see Matt Rule making it next season. Like,
I'm with you. I don't want to see them do it because I
won't
think
be
Matt
his
Rule,
fault entirely.
no, and I think it's what. And Mud just said it right. He inherited a team that had Christian McCaffrey, who is the best dual threat weapon in football. Right? He's probably the 10th best wide receiver and the 4th best running back in the NFL, right? Like that's how good that guy is as a dual threat weapon, and he never plays. So Matt Rule has been dealt a shitty hand with that, but also I think they're going to hold him responsible for the Darnold experiment, and I think that's fair in one sense, but the other sense is like that roster's not very good outside of McCaffrey. So I'd like to see them give him a third year to build because I think he's a program builder, and that's what he did at Baylor. That's what he's done in college, right, at a couple of different places, and that's why they hired him. I'd like to see them give him at least another year because that's who he is. So they're not a good team without McCaffrey, as Mud said. Like you can't lose that guy and expect your offense to be able to recover. Like Chuba Hubbard is not fucking Christian McCaffrey.
So furthering the theory that Danger Russ and probably Pete Carroll are gone next season, they go and lose to the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin. I think I said this last week, and I'm going to reinforce it this week. In fact, I don't know that I'd said it on the show last week, actually. I think, Brett, if you're listening, it was you that I was talking to when I said this. Seattle reminds me right now of, like, when you had that girlfriend in high school that, like, you knew you were done with. And you were ready to break up with her, but you just weren't ready to say it yet and, like, make it public, like, oh, I broke up with my girlfriend, or vice versa, right? It could be, you know, you had a boyfriend, you're whatever, but you're ready to be done. You just don't know how to say it yet. That's what Seattle feels like right now with both Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, and I think it's going to happen this offseason. And Russ is going to go somewhere and fetch a few picks and whatnot, and Carolina might be in play if they do keep Rule, because I think that team is probably a really good quarterback away from competing in that division, especially if they can get McCaffrey healthy. But there's a lot of teams that are going to be in play. That's what it is with Seattle. And like this weekend was like you went to prom and your girlfriend made a scene and you're like, yep, this is the last straw. Like, I got to do this. We're done. And I think that's what losing to Chicago this fucking weekend, especially Matt Nagy getting aggressive and going for 2, man.
Whoa.
Aaron, it's going to get ugly in Seattle this next few weeks and into the offseason, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Mr. Unlimited is limited in his time at Seattle. So, Broncos Raiders, 17-13. That's the final for Sunday night. I mean, I didn't really see much to talk about there.
The big win for Vegas in terms of playoff implications. That's a borderline playoff team that they just beat, and they've put themselves in a situation at 8-7 that they can win out, and they're in. Denver, on the other hand, is clearly going to be in the quarterback market this offseason. Bridgewater has won them some games, but they don't have anybody beyond him. And Bridgewater's not a guy that's going to go out and just carry a team to victory. He's a guy that can kind of tend the farm, if you will. So I think Denver's certainly going to be a player. Obviously, there's the Rodgers link. If you believe that Rodgers is gone, he's starting to seem like he's pretty happy there. Maybe he's not going to leave. But Denver is in desperate need of a quarterback because they're very close. They're very close to being a contender. That defense is the real deal. They can't score any fucking points. And they've got a couple of really good running backs, so they should be able to score. They've got okay wide receivers to go with them, but they need a quarterback.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay.
I think right now I agree with you. I think 4 weeks ago I would have disagreed with you. But right now, I think I agree with you. We'll see how the playoffs go, but he seems like he's happy, man. It just feels that way.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I would like to see him stay there, honestly.
Sure.
All right. Steelers Chiefs 36-10. That was also kind of a predictable outcome there. The Steelers are raced to the bottom, and the first real egg in the face for Mr. Coach Tomlin. And that sucks, man, because he's had a badass career. Like, as far as winning seasons as a head coach and just the situation. I mean, we talked about it last year, but Ben should have retired, man. And I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they would have had a better chance at getting, maybe landing somebody worth investing in or trading for somebody. But damn, they are paying the price this year.
Yeah, he really hamstrung them. And the Chiefs took advantage of a bad offense and really beat them up. Chris Jones is just a menace inside, and the Steelers have a bad offensive line. Ben was under siege all day, and they can't run the ball. Najee Harris looks like he's going to be a legit running back in this league, but if you're getting hit in the backfield on every carry, like, it's tough, man. He's not Barry Sanders. And in Kansas City, they just have quietly become a fucking juggernaut again. After all the struggles, after being 2-4, suddenly they're 11-4, and we just keep saying, well, Kansas City won another game. What about how bad they looked 6 weeks ago? Well, how about how good they look now? You know, I guess it's time to kind of like turn the other cheek and start to say good things about Kansas City because they've been playing some really good football. Probably the best football in the league, to be honest. Quietly, too. I think you muted yourself.
As it may or may not have been said in this episode earlier, at any point in time, it's going to get ugly in the AFC. The Chiefs are not going to go down lightly. And now let's get to it. Brett, here's the signal. How about them boys? Washington gets their fucking – they get the fucking brakes beaten off of them, 56-14.
Yep.
Yikes City, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, this game, I think, has all of the elements of why I have preached from day one that Ron Rivera is not the guy to lead this squad. It's an undisciplined football team. Penalties in the worst situation.
We've literally made a fucking segment out of it. That's how apparent this is.
Yeah, and I think anybody watching that game Sunday night realizes this is my nightmare, right? On a national stage, everything plays out exactly how I've tried to warn people this thing plays out for this team. We've been very fortunate over the last 2 years to have really good situational play from a couple of quarterbacks to keep teams in games or win games late in spite of the coaching staff. Like, Heineke's always making plays off script that are outside the structure of Scott Turner's offense because that offense is so bad. He can't, zero creativity, zero rhythm to play calling. I'm just going to lay it down the way I've laid it down 25 times prior. Bad teams suck at the beginning and ends of halves. And that is exactly what you saw against Dallas, man. You come out, you call a shot play on the first play of the game, a single route, a one route concept that Diggs has nothing threatening him anywhere on the field. And Scott Turner is the guy that he's the guy that used to play Madden, and he would run the same play 43 times in a row. He'd run pro set off tackle with Barry Sanders 43 times. And you would tackle him in the backfield 42 times. But on that 43rd time, you would break off an 80-yard run because 5 people missed tackles and 8 people bounced off Barry Sanders because he's fucking Barry Sanders, right? And he scores a touchdown and he says, I fucking told you that was the best play in the fucking playbook. Well, you sucked for 42 fucking times, buddy. You have scored 2 touchdowns on opening drives in your entire fucking tenure in Washington. We have scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter all fucking season. That's coaching. That's not being prepared for games. And that is the reason that Ron Rivera and his entire fucking regime doesn't belong in Washington. It's why he sucked in Carolina, with the exception of 1 year when he had an historic defense. Fuck off, Ron.
Oh, that was so worth it. Oh, like our view count went up when you started. It was fucking beautiful. It was poetry, really.
That signal went out.
Yeah, no, it did. And it was just, because the thing is like, regardless of whether or not you're a Washington fan, you can't help but agree. There's no lies detected. So
the fact that Micah Parsons can completely whiff on timing his blitz, and the offensive line just has no clue he's even on the field.
Right.
And he hits Heineke right after the snap, after stopping dead in his tracks because he mistimed his blitz. That's unprepared football.
Dolphins Saints. So is Tua a thing? Yes or no?
I think Tua within Miami's structure is a thing. I think the way they play football caters to his skill set on offense. They ask him to complete a high percentage. They ask him to be careful with the football and let that defense, which suddenly over the last 7 weeks since they've been 0-7 and now they're 7-7 or whatever it is, they lost 7 in a row and won 7 in a row. Now that they've won 7 in a row, the defense has looked like the defense we expected to see coming into this season. And they ask him to just manage the offense, be accurate with the football, complete a high percentage of passes, let guys like Jalen Waddle catch the ball 5 yards down the field and make guys miss because that's what he does. I think Tua is a thing because of where he's at and how they use him.
Excellent. That was a whole statement.
John, you're right. Until Snyder's gone, it's going to be ugly in Washington, always.
I don't see a situation where Snyder goes.
He's not. I'm going to have to outlive him.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Jerry Jones.
He got a lot of money. He probably can, with advances in science, he lived at, 250 or so.
Yeah, at least 245.
So, how do you feel about Tua?
I don't feel like I feel like even saying that he operates well in the structure he's given is a courtesy. I think he's a flop. I think he's a Trevor Lawrence. Like I don't see him being. He's not good enough. Period. I said the same thing about Kyler Murray, but they created a system where he can operate well in, and not to mention he is talented. There's no doubt. You and I equally spent a lot of time shitting on him, saying, "Hey, dude, stick to baseball, fucking kiddo." Aaron says tier 3 QB. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where
fair. I'm not saying Tua is a tier 1 or 2.
Tua is going to be a Colt McCoy at best.
maybe. Colt was never given the chance to do what they're asking Tua to do. He was never on a team that was as good as.
I'm not making comparisons of their upbringings in their career. I'm talking about the outcome of the career only.
You think Tua's going to end up a career backup?
I don't think he'll ever I don't think he's gonna. I think in 3 years from now, he's not going to start for anybody.
Okay.
If he's even on a roster.
Okay. I get that comparison then. All right.
Yeah. But I think that he would serve well, similar to what we saw with like that whole Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts thing. Jalen Hurts is now proving to be worth the investment, maybe, but
I wholeheartedly disagree. That guy is not.
See, there you go. See, okay, so again, people undecided.
That guy is not an NFL quarterback, man.
Okay, so then he won't even have a career but I would say that Tua is better than Jalen Hurts.
But Philly has built their offense around Jalen's skill set, though. He runs the ball, they run the ball, they ask him to, create with his feet, and every once in a while he finds a gem. But that dude cannot operate an NFL offense.
Yeah.
John's right. Tua does press when he's behind, and that's what gets him in trouble for sure. He did it at Bama. He did it in Miami during their losing streak and when he was struggling as a rookie. But I think what they've asked him to do during this win streak is something they can be successful with. Whether or not that's enough for them, there's a reason they were looking at Deshaun Watson this offseason. And there's a reason they're probably, as much success as they've had with Tua this year, they're probably going to be on the phone with the Texans and the Seahawks and maybe even the Niners this offseason. And John, no, I'm on the back porch. I'm not in the attic. We've got 5 dogs and 5 kids and 5 adults in the house. So I decided I'm going to go outside. I'm going to honor John Madden a little bit. We're going to talk about him later, but this is football weather. I'm in the great up north back home, and you can see my breath, and we're having fun out here, man.
Yeah, don't let him lie to you, John. He is in his fucking attic, okay? The family left. They closed the attic hatch.
I made my family disappear.
Clark Griswold, who was just trying to go up there to check some goddamn light bulbs, is stuck up there watching old film. He'll grab the boa and the silk gloves later.
Yep.
As soon as this call is over. So we've covered week 16 now.
Oh, shit.
Do we have Capper Facts lined up this week?
We do have Capper Facts.
Right.
Let me pull them up. Actually,
let's test our skills here with that stove.
We are really going to test our skills here because I'm starting to figure this out a little bit. I'm nowhere near as proficient as Stove, but I found that video for Capper Facts in about 1/5 of the time it took me the last few.
I promise, dude, wholeheartedly, it's not that hard.
I know it's not that hard, but I never had my hand on my mouth. I'm not the guy that should be driving. You know goddamn well I get sidetracked.
Well, then let me log in next time and I'll do it.
I was gonna suggest it tonight. Honestly, when you said you were gonna make it, I should have just said, Raul, fucking drive, buddy. You've got your license. I clearly don't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
fucking off the rails. Capper Facts. Chiefs Packers Super Bowl I rematch. So, Mutterman, I want to get into the wild card picks, but I also want
Capper Facts. Let's do it after Capper Facts.
So, Chiefs Packers Super Bowl I rematch. If it's not Chiefs Packers, it's going to be Chiefs Bucks. And that's where I don't know.
Capper Facts. We're getting put on the spot tonight.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to stay true to myself. It's fucking Cap. It's going to be Bills Packers Super Bowl, and the Packers will win.
I love that because that's about where my head's at.
That's where I'm at. I'm in on Buffalo. I'm in all the way.
Absolutely. That team is built to beat Kansas City. So I'm all in. Bill's going to Arrowhead, knocking them off. I've got Bills, I've got Bucks, and I've got Bills fans going to the Super Bowl venue. I believe it's in Dallas this year, or is it LA? LA this year. And Bills flooding LA and going nuts because they just want to hate on Tom Brady. Bills, Packers. This is Cap.
Bills, Bucks.
Bills, Bucks. Sorry.
Bills, Bucks, and I've got Bills, Packers.
Yeah, I said Packers fucking following.
But either way, the AFC's locked in, and Kansas City is not who we're thinking.
Not Kansas City.
It's
all right.
Kind of surprising. Okay. Here we go. Cap or facts. Dallas wins out and finishes as the 2 seed. So, I guess before I answer that, Gary, I'll go to you first, but I'm going to pull up their schedule for the rest of the season.
They've got Arizona. They've got Philly. I've got Cap on this, and I'm going to try to separate my fandom here as much as possible.
Okay.
If I'm Dallas, I worry about Arizona because they can spread the ball out. Now, I say that understanding that I just said that Cliff Kingsbury is about to get fired. But I do worry about what Arizona can do against that Dallas defense. Kyler Murray's not a stationary target. Like, they've gotten really healthy against guys like Heineke and the Giants quarterback, whoever fucking dude they pulled off the street to play against them. So I do worry what Kyler Murray can do against that defense. However, if they beat Arizona, I'll caveat and say this is facts, but I've got Cap. I've got them dropping one of these last two, and I think both the Rams and the Bucks are going to win out.
So it's Cards and it's Eagles. I will say the Cowboys are going to fucking... Aaron, I'm with you. I'm definitely more worried about the Eagles than the Cards. But I'm going to say that this is facts. And not because I'm a Dallas fan, but because I trust that the Eagles are not good enough. And I trust that the Cards... I take this as a cushy end of the season because the Cards are on the decline. The Eagles were never on. I mean, they're just now starting to rise, but they're walking into a football field with a fucking giant. We're in a much different place. So I hope I don't have to fucking eat my words there. But
if they beat Arizona, I'm with you. I don't worry too much about Philly. They're not a good football team.
No, I disagree. I'm more worried about Philly than the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't worry about Philly, but that's just me.
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay. What's next here? Up on the docket. Okay. Cap or facts. The NFL and NFLPA made the right move with the recent changes to protocols for asymptomatic players regardless of vaccination status.
I don't know if you saw the news today. It just kind of dropped. So I know you've been kind of bouncing around a little bit. But little context before you answer. They've dropped the quarantine time for asymptomatic players from 10 days to 5, regardless of vaccination status, whether you're vaccinated or not. That actually aligns with what the CDC has put in place because, and I'm going to say a little bit, and I'm not getting anywhere near a fucking political, statement on this, but because the studies that they've been performing on this throughout, the new variants are showing less and less issues if you're asymptomatic, less transmission if you're asymptomatic. So the NFL is getting in line with what the CDC has said, and I think it's a good move. I'm going to say facts, and then I'll pass your way, but I'm going to say facts because this gets players on the field. We let them play with things like the flu as long as they're able to play. The communicable diseases, we allow them to play. Why is this one got to be different? I understand the death rates and stuff, but these are peak athletes that are getting paid a pretty penny to play a game, and if they want to play, they want to play. And if the NFLPA, that's the important one. The NFLPA agreed to this protocol change, which means the players themselves are okay with, I'm going to go on the field, and it's not just these rich white owners, or rich owners that are saying, get these guys on the field because we want them on the field. The players are saying, we want to be on the field. So
right.
that was the piece that swayed me the most to say this is the right call because the NFLPA is on board.
Okay, so I'm definitely in agreement with you that that if it's anything, it's facts. I'm guessing Stove's in here because So Mud's providing some good point there. Eagles aren't consistent. Hurts is going to be the Eagles' way, but he hasn't found his groove yet. I don't know that I want to believe that he could be because especially when you see him in the Eagles uniform, you want to believe he's going to be another Michael Vick, right? And it's just I'm definitely not there. But as far as making the right move, look, honestly, and I'm not even trying to like waffle on this. It's just very simple. The NFLPA is the only thing that makes me feel like that's the right move. I don't give a fuck what the NFL says.
Right.
I am all about fucking you choose whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I mean?
100%.
Swim at your own risk, but don't fucking punish anybody that decides to do or not do. Like you're not a villain, and you're also not. I don't know. It's that whole shit just fucking irritates me. It just is what it is. Do whatever you want to do. If the NFLPA is comfortable moving forward with this, that means that at least the majority of these players are in favor of this. Then who the fuck cares what we think?
Yeah.
And as long as we get entertainment, hey, somebody's going to hit somebody. Somebody's going to get in this fucking end zone. I don't care if it's a pickup game. It needs to be on my fucking TV every Thursday night, every Sunday night, and every Monday night. Praise God.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Love it.
On to the next one.
Way to bring that energy.
We're doing great. Capper facts. With the impending weak quarterback draft class, the Seahawks, Texans, and Niners are going to cash in several draft picks from quarterback needy teams. I mean, yes, that should be a given. I do feel like even what is on the trading block, Texans, you're taking hella baggage, right? But Russ,
until Bob McNair calls off the dogs, right? Sorry, I've got to sneak that one in there every time.
Those dogs ain't.
The attorney lives next door to Bob McNair.
Hey, them Sunday night, them Sunday dinners be something else. Just fucking up careers and life. Hey, look, overdue. It's if he's fucked up, allegedly.
Yeah. Not to make light of the situation. It's just
no, you're right. But like to be real,
convenient.
This is R. Kelly obvious for me though. Like he's a shitbag, right? Like this is just low hanging fruit, and it could not have worked out better. My man McNair is living next door to the man on retainer. Like,
yeah,
it's grimy as fuck, but you shouldn't care because Deshaun Watson's a shitbag.
Yeah,
he's a fucking garbage can. So
I just can't imagine, like you go to the masseuse and you just like, there's a dick here. You gonna play with it? You gonna suck it? Like, come on, guy. What the fuck, man? Like,
yeah, he's a fucking sleaze, dude.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, I think they're going to cash in. I would definitely say facts. They're going to get a chance to cash in. But with that being said, I'm not in on Russ, dude. Russ is back 9. And that hand, dude, nailing the coffin.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're going to
back 9 to he's on the back 4 or 5.
Oh, sure. He can see the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I'm with you though. This is facts. They're going to cash in. I think a team is going to regret taking Russ on, and I say that knowing full well that it's probably Washington that goes take Russ.
Thanks Haskins for next season, just in advance.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, but this is facts. They're going to cash in. The Niners are going to do fine. I'm curious to see how Trey Lance matures over the offseason because he is so raw. But, man, there's a lot of fucking raw talent in that kid.
No fucking doubt. And I didn't get a chance to partake in the college tailgate trash talk. However, Quinn motherfucking Ewers. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's fucking get it. Oh man.
That's a
I
big
hope
get.
it's not too little too late. Either way, a blemish season. I'm glad that the recruiting went well. That was surprising. So
Yeah.
it went better than expected. I was expecting not even not even an honorable mention, and ended up catching quite a bit of attention there in the final results. So not bad by
Yeah.
signing day.
They did good.
Yeah. So on to the next one.
Last one.
Byron Leftwich is the proper hire for the Jags in their head coach search. So, Gary, I'm guessing this one was yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you have the floor on this one, by all means.
I'm facts on this. I think he's done a great job in Tampa. I think he's learned a lot from Tom in terms of how to lead a team and how to deal with egos, how to deal with vets, how to deal with guys that can dominate a locker room. So I think that's been a really good growth opportunity for him. And Leftwich is a fucking legend there in Jacksonville. So, like, he's got that panache going back. I know Herb had the whole Gainesville connection, but get out of here with that. Like, miss me with that shit because Herb's a fucking train wreck no matter where he goes. Leftwich, on the other hand, is not. He's been awesome in Tampa. Bruce Arians has nothing but glowing remarks to say about him, and that's a guy who's been a head coach for a dozen years. And a guy that can work with Tom Brady and pick Tom Brady's brain, but also contribute to the conversation. Tom commends him quite a bit. Byron Leftwich is the right hire for the Jags. Bieniemy's going to get a head coaching job, but I think Byron Leftwich is the right hire in Jacksonville.
I like the chemistry that's already kind of pre-existing. I think that's yeah, you definitely look like a bus stop that I would avoid. I would, in fact, stay on the dark side of the street light just to fucking hope that you don't see me. Because
I gotta get this thing powered back up.
Jeez. Anyways, let's fucking move on here. It's facts.
Sleepy guy now.
What else we got?
That is it. So let's talk wild card. Mud's been talking wild card. It wasn't really on the slate, but I think it's time to talk about wild card. We're 2 weeks away from the playoffs. Let's talk about it.
So, starting with the AFC, who do you think is like it? You got to pick. You got to lock them in right now. Who is it?
I think my 3 wild cards are going to be. I think Baltimore's going to fix it with Lamar coming back. So give me them winning a wild card. New England and Vegas. Give me Vegas.
Vegas.
I do, man. I do. I like the way they fight, the way they chip away. I really like how they're playing for Rich Bisaccia. I thought a couple of weeks ago that maybe the honeymoon was over, but it's not. They've got some talent, and they've got a really good quarterback who might be on the market this offseason. Be a really bad decision on their part if they were to move on from Derek Carr, but give me Vegas getting in.
I'll be honest though, the more that I can't even that haven't already obviously locked up their division. I don't know who else I could put in that wild card spot in the AFC comfortably. Yeah. Well done. I'm with that 100%. All right, so let's go over to the NFC.
All right, NFC, a little tougher on this side.
Right.
Give me Arizona because I think that LA is going to win that division.
Right.
Give me Philly because they just have a really weak schedule, and I think they're going to beat Washington and win or lose against Dallas as bad as the NFC has been. I think that they're going to get in, and then I'm really tossed up on this last spot because I think Minnesota has an opportunity to win a couple of games down the stretch.
That was going to be the first one I asked you about.
I know.
Dude, were you about to say New Orleans, dog?
I think New Orleans has a favorable schedule down the stretch, but they don't look good at all on offense. Their defense is fine, but they don't look good at all on offense.
So wild card weekend would be a fucking given on that game.
Yeah,
yeah, because if they go up against the Vikings or even the Eagles,
give me San Francisco then. Give me San Francisco in the last wild card spot.
I think
give me Arizona. Fair. Give me Arizona.
Yep.
Give me Philly, and give me San Francisco to round out the playoffs in the NFC.
Okay. I'm going to go Vikings, Niners.
Stove chiming in. Stove, I'm driving the train. You got to know that shit ain't going right. Yelling
facts.
At me over here. Shit.
Yeah, we're a fucking mess. So, all right. So Niners. I'm gonna say the Vikings. And yeah, I
Arizona
guess I would go. No, I'd go Eagles.
Well, so you have Arizona losing out and being out because they'd be a wild card because LA is going to win that division, I think.
Well, they've got Dallas and who else? Because they're losing to Dallas.
They need a lot to go wrong to not get in, though. They're not locked in yet, but
they're pretty well secure in the.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to lose out and a lot go wrong. So I think they're going to get in probably just by beating them.
All right, then I'll concede the cards. I'll go Vikings and I'll go
Eagles.
I don't want to go Eagles. But yeah, let's go Eagles.
Cards. And I realized I left the Chargers out in the AFC, but man, that loss to the Texans fucking kills me. And Mud's the guy that asked the question. I hate to say it, buddy, but your Chargers losing to the Texans tells me that they're not ready to be a playoff team.
And Stove, I hope you're right, dude. I hope Arizona fucking loses out. I don't want to see them in the fucking playoffs.
Right.
The only reason I want to see them in the playoffs is fucking DeAndre Hopkins. That's it.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee he'll be back either.
Right. Exactly. Right. And damn it, he had a shot. He had a legitimate shot at the beginning of the season. All right, so on to the next one. We are going to. You want to hop into salute?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hop into our salute to service. This episode of Backyard Blitz, brought to you by Backyard Sports, is dedicated to Army Sergeant Stephen Chayko, who passed away December 20th of 2002. Serving during Operation Enduring Freedom, he was 22 years old, from New York, New York, assigned to the 504th Infantry Regiment, 82nd Airborne Division out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And he was killed in Afghanistan during combat operations. So Army Sergeant Stephen Chayko, we have the watch. Awesome that we get to do that. 4 years now. We have been dedicating podcasts. I sent you the screenshot of that episode or that post where we said eventually we're going to get into streaming our episodes and being able to interact with you guys. And here we are.
We got there.
Here we are, almost approaching 90 episodes. I mean, this shit's crazy, dude. What are we going to do for the 100? We've got to do something for you guys. for all of our real ones. Those of you guys that got the badges by your names right now. Yeah, exactly. Matthew Mutterman, Aaron Althaus. Brett, you get no love because you don't have a badge. Aaron, Brett, Kelvin. I mean, come on. We've had some A1 since day ones out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Gary Free Sr., of course. So, we definitely got to do something for episode 100. It'll be good stuff. Do you want to roll into next week here? Or do you want to do Damn Care, Thanks Haskins?
Let's do week 17.
All right, let's do week 17 rapid fire. I think we're sitting at just under an hour and 20. So, Giants, Bears. Bears.
Can both teams lose?
Right, but like,
give me the Bears. You know. The Giants are just that bad, though. I'm with you.
Agreed. Jaguars, Patriots. Trevor Lawrence is not getting. Yeah, all right. Onward. Rams, Ravens. The Rams are gonna just fucking get this done, and this is gonna be another kind of difficult stutter step in the Ravens' approach for that wild card spot. But yeah, I mean the Rams aren't losing. Period.
Unless Lamar comes back as fucking Superman, I don't see them beating the Rams.
It would take a Lamar Superman game and a shitty Stafford game, which we've seen a couple times this year. So it's not impossible. Right. But if I've got to bet on one side of this fucking one side or the other, I'm definitely going. My money's safe with the Rams. So Buccaneers, Jets. Speaking of safe money, Falcons, Bills. Also kind of safe money. Chiefs, Bengals.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You got me riled up for one here.
Look, I'm still in on Kansas City. Don't get me wrong. I'm still in on Kansas City. But Tiger King, please.
This is the stumble game for the Chiefs. This is coming back to reality before their playoff push.
Yeah.
I think a loss here might do them some good, but I also think this win for the Bengals is going to be a monster win to push them into that conversation among the best teams in the AFC. Tiger King, light that defense up, buddy.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. I'm confident that the Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs. It is going to be a greater than one possession win.
Ooh, yeah. Spicy. I like it. That's spicy.
Yeah, I went there.
I like it.
We're not going to see no bitch ass 26 on the board, though, is all I'm saying. So, Dolphins, Titans. Look, Tua, you had a good run, bud. But I do believe that the Titans are going to win. Yes, because I think that the Titans fully have they've got their fucking radar just right. They've got their crosshairs right on the Chiefs, and they're not going to let the Dolphins stop that.
Yeah, they're locked in. That defense is playing really well. A.J. Brown's healthy, looked very healthy last week. No effects of that injury that he had. And Tannehill looked comfortable throwing to him, especially in the second half. Titans.
Raiders, Colts, another good one. And I'm going Colts.
I'm going Raiders because I picked the Raiders for the playoffs.
I know I did too, but I'm still gonna go Colts here.
I left the Colts out of the playoffs.
They were my only other consideration there was the Colts.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of talking about what they can do with Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna go Ravens in this one, or Raiders in this one though. I just like Derek Carr against the Colts defense. I like what he can do. I like how tough he is. I think this might be a little bit of a high-scoring affair. I think
on the road, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Dome, though. So you don't have to deal with any ill kind of weather, which is good for a warm weather team like Vegas.
Yeah, but this is crunch time for Lucas Oil here. You know what I mean? And those motherfuckers get loud.
Absolutely. So, that place is fucking raucous. But give me Derek Carr. I like what he's doing right now. Give me the gritty Raiders. Give me Derek Carr going into Lucas Oil and winning kind of a shootout. I think this one's going to be a high scoring game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
I don't think you're wrong there. It's going to be, I think that's going to be the game to watch. One of the games to watch primarily Sunday. If you're going to focus any of your attention, that's going to be a good one. Eagles, Washington. I'm going to go Washington here.
I'm going to turn my TV off.
Yeah. Good call.
No,
good call.
I'm actually going to go Washington in this. I think Washington's going to start to get healthy off of COVID, and I think that Washington is a better team than Philly. Philly kind of sneaking in on the back end because of how bad the NFC is. Give me Washington in this one. I don't feel real confident in it though.
Well, you know what? It's a step in the right direction. You're at least trying to be supportive of your own team.
I'm trying. I picked that one with my heart, not my head.
So Broncos Chargers, another good one. I mean, there's so much inconsistency that we are seeing with the Chargers. I don't know. I want to believe that the Chargers can get this done, dude, but I'm going with the Broncos.
Broncos, that run game, Chargers can't stop a fucking wet fart against the run. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, if you've got them on your fantasy roster for your fantasy finals, play them.
Motherfucking Gordon, dude.
Yeah. Play them this week against the Chargers. They can't stop anything against the run.
Yeah. Yeah, and Melvin Gordon against the Chargers, So
motivated.
Yeah, motivated. It's there for sure. Yep. And Melvin's definitely helped me out of quite a few situations in the fantasy league. A waiver wire pickup sometimes, and sometimes a starter. But this year, he's like Bitcoin 7-8 years ago. You know what I mean? If you bought early in on him this season, like if you drafted him, if you fucking dropped him, you're an idiot. So we'll just say that is cap or facts, no cap detected. Okay. Texans, Niners. So can the Texans kind of carry any kind of momentum against this Niners team that has, I believe, a proper chance at locking in a wild card spot?
No, Niners. The Texans shouldn't have beat the Chargers. They definitely shouldn't beat the Niners.
I don't know what to think if the Texans win. I'm going to be very confused next week. I'm going to start 2022 on just a mind fuck next week. January 4th when we return for our next episode of the Blitz.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to swallow if they do beat the Niners.
Lions, Seahawks. I am going with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm in. Lions. What Aaron just said. Talk about urgency. But yeah, I'm with you. Lions over the Seahawks. Like I said, the Seahawks are right now like in the limo after prom, fighting about when they're going to break up.
Yeah, and that's not going to be helpful to making some shit happen.
Nope.
Okay. Let me grab this next game real quick. See what we got here. All right. Cardinals, Cowboys. So again, the Cardinals are not going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. They're in Dallas. The Cards are not beat. They are on their downward spiral, and that is not going to be saved by a victory at Dallas. With confidence.
Yeah. I said it a moment ago that I worry about Arizona if I'm Dallas, but I think the sane decision is Dallas is going to win at home against Arizona. It's probably just the pick. I'm going to regret Arizona next week because they're going to go into Dallas and like boat race them or something.
I think Dallas is a safe bet.
Arizona's like 7-1 on the road or something this year too. It's so weird.
Yeah. In the first half of the season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry about your luck there. Panthers, Saints. So, Saints, I'm going to chalk up last week to a fluke. But, yeah, I'm going to go Saints.
Yeah, you're playing a tough team with a 94th string quarterback. Like, they didn't want to play Ian Book this year. They had no interest in playing Ian Book this year. So, I'm going to go Saints because I think they're going to be healthier this week.
Right.
And the Panthers are pretty bad right now.
Saints at home. Vikings Packers. I'm going to have a lot of really negative shit to say if you say the Vikings. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going for the Packers. And then I'm going to hand you the floor. And I'm going to be...
The Vikings already beat them once this year, though.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not taking
I'm talking... Okay.
Packers, I don't have the Vikings making the playoffs because they don't win this game. If they win this game, they might get in, but Packers.
Yeah, at Lambeau.
They've missed too many opportunities, man. Like I had the Vikings as like my dark horse to like be the team that nobody wanted to play in the playoffs because of Dalvin Cook and those wide receivers.
May or may
but
not
like,
be 2 years now that you've said that.
Yeah,
Browns Steelers. One quarterback who is not like first couple years in has now hit his back nine, and one guy who's on the 18th hole, and actually he's
19th hole.
Yeah, he's hit 1 through 3 on accident. He's played 21 holes.
He's on his 21st team.
And he's real fucking confused about his scorecard as he's sitting at the clubhouse right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Browns, and I feel like the rivalry alone, I feel like the Browns are better equipped to handle it.
I think the Browns have a deeper roster. I think they're going to be able to run the ball against the Steelers. And the Steelers right now, to me, are a bit of a disaster. Give me the Browns.
Fair enough. And there's our predictions for Week 17. Onward and upward. As we move into our next segment, are we going to go damn K? Thanks, Haskins.
We'll go damn K. Then we'll go thanks Haskins. Then we'll go damn K.
Okay.
And then we're gonna talk a little John Madden.
Yeah, we are.
All right. That's fucking brand. God, I do this every fucking time. Every fucking time. I look in the fucking banners for fucking thanks Haskins every fucking time.
There is a banner for thanks Haskins.
There is. But the
overlay, I guess.
The brand. Yeah.
But okay, so I'm curious to see if we're not talking about officiating here, what is thanks Haskins? What could it possibly go to this week?
Yeah, we're not, but we're gonna go to the originator of this. The fight on the fucking sidelines is just it's too much, and I know there's a way to downplay it, right? It's roommates in college. They played together in college. They've played together the whole career in the NFL, and they're like brothers, right? But if you're Ron Rivera and you're a guy that says we're trying to change the culture within Washington, like going to the podium and just being like, no big deal. This is what players do. Like, that's not the way to change the culture in a city with a team that's been just like that. Fight on the sideline is like the epitome of what Washington has been for the last 25 years. Like, two players that should be playing better fighting over who should be playing better. Like, grow up. Grow the fuck up. Ron, you've lost control of the team. I don't know how soon ownership's going to understand that that's the case, but fucking Christ. I guess we're still blaming Dwayne. So hashtag thanks, Haskins.
Yeah, I mean, Washington really just continues to be a fucking dumpster fire. And the loss of Chase Young sure as fuck didn't help. And you want to believe that there's some light to maybe pay attention to with Heineke.
That's a freight train coming your way.
Yeah.
There's no light at the end of the fucking tunnel.
You know what you need? You need Jason Garrett.
No, I need Jason Garrett like I need a fucking another hole in that, man. That dude is no.
See, you look at Jason Garrett the way I look at Mike McCarthy.
Oh, you should look at Mike McCarthy that way.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones' last 2 head coaches are fucking trash bags.
The only thing that makes sense is that they're hiring yes men. And that's it.
That's exactly it. Absolutely.
He's hiring a puppet with a wide enough asshole for a Jerry Jones-sized fist.
Yep. Yep.
And that's life as a Cowboys fan, and apparently a fucking Redskins fan too. The Schneider family and the Jones family just, thank you for
ruining everything.
Yeah, ruining my fucking liver. All right. I don't think I have a thanks Haskins, honestly.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something good, and I just feel like this is the time of year where I get the most as a Cowboys fan. I get the most prepared to be let down. So I have such low expectations. Yeah. I'm just like, hey, you know what?
We did all right.
They showed up to the fucking field, dog. We are all right.
All right. Well, let's roll.
Okay. So, damn K, Gary, what you got?
I'm going back to the same game. Dak Prescott became the first quarterback to throw a touchdown pass to a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and the infamous eligible offensive lineman in a game in the regular season. He became the second ever to do it, but first ever to do it in a regular season game. Kurt Warner apparently was so goddamn good that he did it in a fucking playoff game. So for that, Dak, as much grief as I've given you for a long time, and I will continue to give it to you because you did this against a really bad team. But for this moment, damn, K.
It's a flex, to be able to do that. And I feel like that's just, him dragging his nuts. Maybe Kellen Moore dragging nuts a little bit.
Brain.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely dragging some nuts there. And
as they should against a rival when you got a chance. Absolutely.
Right. You got to. You absolutely got to.
Yeah.
As far as damn K, my damn K goes to the refs for just continuing to be loyal to my team. Okay?
For the brand.
It's a process. It's a process. Okay?
Oh, man.
And the process is the moment we get touched, that yellow flag comes out of your fucking waistband and in you. Okay? The moment we do the touching, you blind. Okay? You blind. Get it? Got it? Good.
Good.
Say less.
So on that note, I'm not gonna bitch about the rest because I said I wasn't going to. However, my brother and I are in a group chat with a couple of other friends, and one of them shared a post by Pete Haley, who's a local beat writer down in the DC area for NBC Sports Network in DC. Shared on Twitter a picture of your guys' center 9 yards down the field blocking somebody on a pass. It says the center is down the field this far and there's no flag, and then Dallas scored on the next play. And my brother's like, that has to be Photoshop. That has to be Photoshop. And I'm like, no, Pete Haley's a real person. And he's like, no, I mean like Photoshop that it was him. And I was like, no, I'll go to his Twitter page. I want his Twitter page, pull it up. The dude's 9 yards down the fucking field. No flag. And I'm not the person that shared it. That's what made me feel the best about it.
Yeah. Your feelings were validated. Yep.
It's just so messy, man. It's so messy. That's the most disappointing part about it.
I feel like you can find shockingly amount of missed calls like that across every game throughout all season. Is all I'm saying. Does it happen to the Cowboys more?
Man.
Yes.
It's different.
Oh, no doubt.
Listen, I'm going
No
to go
doubt.
back to something I said earlier this
I'm
season.
not saying that we're
When
not given bias.
when
I'm not
other
saying
people's
that.
teams play the Cowboys and they're like, what the fuck is going on around here? These officials are doing this, they're doing that. I just sit back and I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. Welcome. You now feel my pain. And they're just bitching and bitching and bitching. I'm like, imagine this twice a year for the last fucking 37 years of your life.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't like it, dude, find a different fucking team, you know?
Be a Cowboys fan.
Be a fucking Cowboys fan. That's it. Problem solved. It works for me. I've been a Cowboys fan my whole life.
I
I've
love when
never
other teams play the Cowboys and I have to listen to them bitch about the refs. I'm like, yep, I know.
right.
Oh man.
It's fine. I mean, I'm cool. It's a
As it
sacrifice.
should be. Like you should be cool with it. But what
It's a
annoys
sacrifice
me
I'm willing to make is all I'm saying.
What annoys me is the Cowboys fans that are like, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I'm like, dude, I can show you 55 fucking plays from this past weekend that illustrate that it does happen. Like, just own it. I
It's a
like
gross
what you and Stove
exaggeration,
do. You
but
guys
yes,
embrace it and
100%.
you love it. And of course, that's an exaggeration, absolutely. But I like that you and Stove embrace it. Like, don't try to come at me, a sane human being, and try to say like, no, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it fucking does.
Yeah, no, because you can that transfers along probably all sports, but basketball and football for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You see it with Golden State. You see it with any team that LeBron's on.
Yeah, they officiate superstars differently. Same in the NFL. The Cowboys aren't the only team, right? Like,
no, for sure.
But I have
the
to fucking watch
Patriots
it
during
twice
the
a year.
Tom Brady era, yeah.
I have to watch it twice a year.
No. I promise, I fucking enjoy it.
Yeah,
you know.
you should.
Thanks. By the way, officials, your check is in the mail. So thank you.
Des caught the ball, but it wasn't a catch by rules at the time.
He didn't survive the ground.
Exactly. That was the rules. If that catch happens in 2021, it's a catch.
No, but hey, Aaron, Des caught it. He caught it, and that's fine.
Oh, shit.
There's nothing else to talk about there because he fucking caught it. It was a bad call. I don't give a fuck what the rules were at the time. It was a fucking bad call. What else do we have on the agenda?
I kind of want to talk a little John Madden. I don't know. I assume you played the video games, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about Madden and maybe open the floor, see what some of the viewers have to say about their experiences with him. I wasn't alive for him as the coach, but him the commentator, him the video game aficionado, obviously the namesake to probably the game that I spent most of my time as a video game player playing prior to maybe 2015 or so. The game has gone down a bad path with EA, but I just want to give a little time to just show, kind of my appreciation for who John was, tuning in on Sundays and listening to him break the game down. A lot of people talked about how simplistic he made it, but I think that was what John brought to the table. He was a guy that loved the little things about the game. And, when he spoke about the game that was going on the field that he was at, he couldn't help himself but to talk about how it's a game of inches, to quote the obvious cliche, but, for him, it's all the little things that happen throughout a game that matter. And he would talk about it all the time. But one thing I always took away from what when he was doing games, man, it didn't matter if Favre was playing or not. Somehow the conversation always went back to Brett Favre. And I loved that about him. He was so infatuated with the way that Favre played the game because it was sort of how he coached the game. do the dirty work, be tough, and take chances and those sorts of things. And that, I think, shined through with the way he respected the game, but also respected guys that played the game the right way. But man, that video game, I lost a good portion of my youth to that video game. It was so just laser. It just captured my focus. All the things that I loved about football, I was able to replicate year round. I didn't have to wait for Washington's football season to start. I could play the game and scout fucking college draft picks and bitch about who's rated a 99 versus who's rated a fucking 75. Like, what the fuck? It was just fun. Playing against other people. My brother and I, we had wars, man. Wars when it came to Madden. Playing against each other, just fucking fighting over little shit. But rest in peace, big man. Rest in peace. Fucking legend. And sudden passing too. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about him being sick or anything. It just all Madden had just come out too, Christmas Day, and
I haven't even watched it yet. I was looking forward to watching
it, man. Like, it's on my agenda, but holiday time, I haven't really sat down to watch it. Now I fucking absolutely need to. So rest in peace, big man.
Damn. Yeah, that's you hate to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't even realize he was sick. Like, I had no clue that something was even wrong, and then when I saw that, that the documentary or the movie was coming out, I was like, yes, this is. I've been needing to kind of brush up on the Madden life, anyways, because I mean, I grew up playing the games, but I don't remember him well as anything other than the fucking energetic announcer that he's always been,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but football mastermind. We're talking about a great in the world of football, period, on multiple capacities.
Yep.
Man, damn, dude, fuck 2021.
Right.
They just get worse and worse, man. I'm looking to see if we have any comments in here about it other than Aaron. Yes. Thanks, Coach. Now, here's a guy.
Here's a guy that enjoys beer.
Here's a guy that's gonna fucking
the fucking turducken too. Like, the guy went to a chef and was like, I want to fucking stuff a chicken in a duck, but then I want that duck shoved inside of a turkey. And he made it like nationally famous. That fucking restaurant that he went to have that done, like, they make hundreds, thousands of them every year now because of John Madden. And they give out turkey legs on fucking Thanksgiving because of John Madden. Like, it's unreal, like, his influence on the game.
Yeah, it's actually a bucket list for me is to have a turducken.
Yeah, I still haven't either. That's something it's on my list.
Because I like all three. So,
yeah.
Adding them all together. I mean, come on. Boom. Fucking poultry bomb.
Poultry bomb. Oh, man. Yeah, I just wanted to pay some respects to John before we close out here.
As we should. Unfortunately, breaking news tonight, for sure. And another solemn way to end the episode. Any other closing remarks?
No, we're in crunch time.
Show we're looking forward to this week.
Next few weeks are going to be fun as we close in on the playoffs. But this is the best time of the year for football, man. All these games really matter, with few exceptions. We talked about a few that really don't have implications, but a lot of games that have really heavy playoff implications. It's going to be a fun few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely going to be the time to tune in and watch this race to the wild cards, as well as locking in the division as we go into the postseason. This is going to be definitely the time to watch. Keep an eye out.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Thank you, Senior. Much appreciated. Packers, Bills. It's happening. Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. If the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl, the Bills will beat the Bucks.
Yes.
That's where I'm at.
Dude, I'm going home, right? Bills Bucks Super Bowl. I'm going home. I'm taking time off because if they win Sunday, it's going to be a nonstop party, and I'm going to make my way to Orchard Park no matter what, right? Because, like, I go back home and, like, everybody's a Bills fan in my hometown. We're going to party. We're going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make myself an honorary member of Bills Mafia, but I'm going to find a way to get up to fucking Orchard Park and just find some people to hug and have fun with, because it's going to be off the fucking chart.
Fuck finding people to hug. You need to find a table to crash through, because that is the only way. That is the only way you can call yourself. That
video will go on the page. We are crashing tables.
For the brand.
Absolutely.
We
are crashing tables.
It's going to be a crashing table Super Bowl victory if the Bills get the W this year. But they probably won't, because this is Aaron Rodgers' year. And it's going to happen. That's who that was. That wasn't Brett. That was Joe Pesci. That was Joe Pesci.
Oh, sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers, dude.
Or the sticky bandits. Oh, God.
Christ.
Oh,
anyways.
Man.
Well, at least
somebody needs to grab a light socket.
One of the greatest scenes ever.
Ever.
When he turned into the skeleton and I was a child, I died.
I still
died. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, fuck yeah. Back when Macaulay Culkin was just innocent.
Yeah. Yeah. Before the bad stuff.
Yeah. Before he got fucking diddled. So, anyways, off the rails. At least it's the end of the show. You know?
Yeah.
At least it's the end of the show before we get off the rails.
We saved the nonsense for the end.
For the tens of people that have watched the show tonight, I really appreciate you guys tuning in for your anniversary of Backyard Sports Media. Not the anniversary of Backyard Blitz, because it started later. However, the channel, us, Backyard Sports Media, started by this handsome guy and myself. And yeah, could not be more proud to be where we're at. And I appreciate everybody watching this shit with us. Episode 80-something of Backyard Blitz, brought to you by Backyard Sports. My name is Raul. I got Gary Freeze. We're fucking out of here.